Let's say you're the new HR manager for a company that operates 2 factories. The first factory pays workers on a time-based system. Workers are paid for the number of hours they work in a day. The second factory pays workers on a piece rate system. These workers are paid for the number of items they produce in a day. Turnover is a problem in both factories, and many workers have said that low wages is the reason for leaving. The general manager has asked you to check the wage calculations for both factories to make sure they meet the legal requirements. Then she wants you to create a plan for improving wage satisfaction. The factory doesn't have a budget for increasing payroll, so your plan has to fit within the current budget. To check the wages, you've decided to go over the wage calculations for workers in each of the 2 factories. First, the time-based system. In the time-based factory, contracts for new workers say that base pay is $180 per month, plus an overtime premium. After workers finish the 1-year probation period, they'll get a raise. The local minimum wage is $200, but workers should earn over a minimum wage through overtime hours. Does this arrangement meet legal requirements? Some employers may have workers go through a probationary period, when they'll get a slightly lower wage. But the probationary wage must be at least the minimum wage before counting overtime. The company's launching a training program for new workers. In their first month, they'll have to show up an hour earlier than usual for training. One of your colleagues suggests that you should pay workers for the extra hour, since the training is mandatory. But another colleague reminds you that training is a benefit that the company provides freely to workers. It doesn't make sense to pay workers on top of the money the company is already spending on training. Who's right?
Hello, welcome to this e-learning lesson. This lesson will help you to understand how to develop a sustainable and motivating wage system. By the end of this lesson, you will understand the key elements of a sustainable wage system, learn practices that affect worker motivation, and learn how to implement different types of wage systems that help motivate workers to increase skills and maximize productivity. To start with, factories often face the following 3 challenges. Number 1, factories are facing workforce shortages. 2, factory workers say that one of the major reasons why they leave their job is because they feel wages are unfair. And 3, minimum wage is rising significantly each year. As a result, factory managers are under intense pressure. On the one hand, employees are requesting a fair wage system, or they will leave for other factories in the region. On the other hand, with increasing material and other costs, management wants to keep labor costs down. Jack figured this out a few years ago. Jack is WageWorks' HR director. WageWorks, a clothing manufacturer, had a lot of trouble attracting workers. As a result, they experienced worker shortages that reduced production output. Customers threatened to drop them if WageWorks couldn't keep up. After asking around, Jack found that the company had a bad reputation among workers in the region. The word on the street was that WageWorks paid very poorly. Indeed, WageWorks did not have a sustainable wage system. A sustainable wage system is competitive with other employers in the region and motivates workers to do their best. He asked the human resource and production teams to work together to propose different wage system options for his review. After 2 weeks, they presented their findings back to Jack.
We've designed and summarized 3 different motivating wage system options that we think will achieve our initiative goals. All of these systems are additions to the basics we've already implemented. We are going to outline the benefits and risks of each of them.
Welcome to the China Social Insurance e-learning course. By the end of this course, you'll understand the importance of complying with social insurance law. Know the basic social insurance requirements factories must comply with under the law. Learn key steps to identify and address gaps in your social insurance practices. Meet Frank Wang. Frank is the new Human Resources Director for Right Fit Factory, a sports clothing factory located in Dongguan, China. Frank's on the bus reading the newspaper after a long day of work. He opens the business section and gasps as he reads the headline, 5,000 workers on strike demand social insurance. Big Clothes factory shuts down for second week in a row. Big Clothes is Right Fit's largest competitor. They operate just down the street in the same economic zone and are one of the biggest sellers of sports clothing to major international brands. The article goes on to say that 2 of Big Clothes' major U.S. retail buyers have put orders on hold until the dispute is resolved. Frank's mind starts to race. Could something like this happen at Right Fit? He's not even sure himself whether his company provides workers with full social insurance benefits. He better check in the morning to make sure everything is in order. In order to determine if Right Fit is providing the correct benefits, Frank's first step is to fully understand what's required under the law.